Hi, everyone. Welcome to Millennium Live. My name is Katie Perry, and today I'm joined with a very special guest, Celene Osiecka, who is the Senior Director of Conversational Design at 24/7 AI. Thank you so much for being here today, Celene.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Before we jump in and get into the nitty gritty, for anyone who's listening in who may not know about 24/7 AI, can you just give us a brief overview of what your company does?
For sure. Yeah. So we're a software and services company that was founded in 2000, and we provide both contact center services coupled with automated technology powered by AI. So our goal is to transform the customer experience for the world's largest brands, but we also combine artificial intelligence and human intelligence to do that. Things like, again, the brands like we have a lot of retail brands, we have banking brands, hospitality brands, so across many industries. And what we try to do is our solutions help companies provide personalized, predictive, and effortless customer experience to everybody.
Great. Well, I'm going to jump into the hottest topic of the past 14 months. It's COVID-19. And I know that really changed shoppers' behavior pretty much overnight. And undoubtedly, retailers really have been through market reshaping for the past 14 months and counting. So, where does 24/7 AI really fit into this new retail customer experience from these expected brands?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that happen that we notice. I would say four trends, and just different things happening with that trend. So the first thing is just around it was a fast track digital transformation, right? They were forced into that just because as we move more of that traffic to digital, as COVID demanded, they were forced to really fast track that on their side. So that was one thing we noticed. Another thing was and you might have heard about this as well, as just a lot of retail companies had to shut down their brick and mortar, right? So by doing that, the traffic, I mean, a lot of the store traffic didn't diminish, it just shifted to the web. So because of that, again, it talks to that digital transformation, but you have to handle the type of in-store experience that you might get now on the web when they're buying, on the web and returning on the web, all those things, right? So it creates the need to have this high touch experience as well, in addition to handling that scaling and the volume. And then what we noticed too is, just because of COVID brought a lot of mail delays, right? Just because everybody's ordering things online. So there were warehouse delays, there was the postage delays, all kinds of delays. So the companies that we're dealing with had to have a really quick turnaround to update their customers what's going on, so they didn't get all that traffic. And then the last piece we noticed is around just how many new services were introduced and how they needed to quickly expand and optimize those services. Things like, curbside pickup, secure payment, returns, how do you do all those things now in a more web facing world? So all of those things really pushed a lot of the retailers just to really reshape their businesses.
Yeah. So, customer shopping behavior really has changed, and I would say it really entered a new era, I should say. So, technology plays a major role now. So, what technologies would you say retailers should really be leveraging to ensure they provide the best experience for their consumers?
Yeah. So kind of tying to the above, right? These all help direct in those situations. And then a lot of different new situations we might not have seen yet. So things around, again, conversational AI, to handle that volume, to handle that quick turnaround time, you really need to have that ability to talk to your users in a friendly conversational way to handle things that the agent may not be able to or have to handle. So things like, we have this a clothing retailer, and they have things like inventory and shopping journeys just to help the user complete that experience. Just like, again, they would in the store, right? If you go and approach somebody, does this have a zipper? What size shoe can I, all those questions we see. And then there's the workflow automation. So we have this large global home retailer, and they had a lot of around the service side of things, around order status, missing item flows, things like that happened around Christmas time. And just, began, there's so much traffic, where's my order, where my items missing, all of those things that can really be automated. We can do a lot of those things and even take some of the processes and bypass an agent and move them into a back office to provide a refund, for example. So it doesn't have to be entirely automated, it can be somewhat automated. And then we are talking about more omni-channel, right? So this omni-channel ability to build once and deploy many. So again, customers like to go on the phone if they're driving. They like to text when they're in bed, right? So we want to meet the customer where they are, no matter, 24/7, using our our name as well. But so we want to just deploy one thing once and have that be applicable across all the channels customers want to visit. And then last is around digital transformation, talking about, yeah, meeting the customers where they are. There's certain intents that work really well in a voice channel and certain intents that work really well in a digital channel. So how can we kind of set on that right channel mix for everybody to make a great experience, but also make it easy and affordable and cost effective for the companies as well.
Right. You've mentioned digital transformation a couple times now, and what would you say the necessary building blocks are for this digital transformation in the retail e-commerce space for these brands?
Yeah, the first thing you kind of have to figure out is, what are you transforming? What are the main intents that your customers are coming in with that we need to figure out how we handle them digitally? So we call that kind of the identify stage. So we use some tools on our side, like we have a tool called intent discovery, where we figure out what are the top intents and what are these ways we can create new automated intents and prep the agents that these intents might be coming, and those kinds of things. We also have these pre-built intent models where, the customer doesn't have to come in and tell us all of the utterances that they use, that their questions are you present. We just have that, right? We have that data because we have all of the aggregated data across our clients. And then, yeah, we determine what are the most impactful ones. You might have a list of 100 intents, but maybe there's the top 20 that are really impactful to automate now. So we'll help prioritize that for customers. That's kind of the identify phase. And then there's the build phase. So once we identify those top drivers, how can, in like the really data driven sense, how do we automate those in either an FAQ, maybe we need to do a transaction for that, just all around, you typically containment rate, CSAT, whatever the company is trying to drive for. And then we might integrate things like, APIs or business flows, things like that, to help expedite that. We talked about that really seamless process that it emulates an agent, right? So we'll do a lot of that to help with the automation. And then last, we never want to ignore these things once they're live, right? We always want to make them better, grow them, see how much we can push this automation to help them on the digital side. So we have an optimization phase where we look at those KPIs they're trying to measure. Let's say it is containment in that channel. We'll look at what things are leaving and going to an agent still, and how we can bring that back in and automate those opportunities.
So I'm curious, when it really comes to automating the customer journey, where would you say the brands really should begin?
It's a great question because it really depends on what time of year, right? And again, you'll see these cyclical patterns across the whole year, but we notice this, right, in November, for example. We notice this in our clients that's really heavy on price matching and coupons. That's a big thing. And then when we get into December, we see things around order status, right? Like where they've ordered something for Christmas and now they want it. And then in January, now you get questions like, my order's not received, or an item was missing, or how to refund or return. So it kind of depends when we're launching and what are the highest impactful intents at that time. But things like that, right? You have a lot of, and that's just more from a service side. There's also, again, we talked about cart and checkout experiences, shopping journeys, inventory journeys. So it really depends on or again, back to the data, what's the most impactful and what time of year it is. But again, this is a process that we help our clients through. We help them figure out this data, where they should start. They don't have to build this mountain at the beginning. We make it a very easy to follow, consumable process, so it's not overwhelming at the beginning.
Yeah. I want to end on that note. Can you just share a little bit more how you really have helped your retail clients?
There might be some of these clients that are way ahead of the line. They know what they want to automate, they have the data, and they're ready to just, go at it. So we can help in those kinds of use cases. And we
Mhm.
also help cases where clients don't even know where to start, so they're figuring out, I don't even know what data I have. I don't even know if I have data, and that's okay too, right? So those things, just first, we can help no matter where you are on that line. But the things we focus on are kind of the things I mentioned before around omni-channel, right? We know that's a thing where there's voice is still very prevalent, even though what we're trying to transform into digital. So we will help on all of those channels, including all of the new messaging channels that are coming out, GBM, ABC, all those things, right? We really emphasize that aspect because we want it to make it easy for companies to deploy, but also making it a great experience for customers too.
Right.
The second around is our conversational AI technology. Again, because we know that automation is really the key to a lot of the cost savings, but we don't want to lose the ability to just treat the customer, as they would with a human. So those kinds of things we really pay attention to help make it, the best experience possible, highest automation, but highest NPS if they balance together. We've seen 30% containment rate on some of these things, all the way up to 80% on some of our clients. So yeah, we can really automate a lot of these things very easily to help with the onset of all this additional volume. And then we like to also talk about the HI and the AI blending together, because as we learn what to automate, we learn from the agents, and the agents also start to learn what the bot isn't automating and can improve their processes and make things more, handle the more complex issues that a bot may not be able to handle. So we work really well together in terms of data knowledge and supplementing where the other cannot, right? There's certain things AI handles and certain things HI handles really well. So we kind of know the balance of where those things are and where you need to bring in a human, where you need to bring in a bot, those kind of technologies. And then just the last thing is, I would say we've been working in this field for 20 years around call centers. We have all of those, pre-built intents. We've done, dozens of different retail deployments. So we kind of know what clients and their customers need. So we're able to help and share a lot of that knowledge with any other company as well.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for giving us an overview. And for anyone who's listening in and who hasn't heard of you at all, we've learned so much. And thank you so much, Celene. And thank you, everyone, for listening in.
Great. Thanks so much.